We love coming to you, Clayton, for all your predictions. We're going to be with you throughout the course of the day. So let's start with who you like for Best Actress.
The hardest category of the night, right? So we have a big battle here between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. I'm going with Lily Gladstone. I think she's going to squeak it out, make some history. First Native American, first Indigenous woman ever to win an acting Oscar. It's going to be amazing. I think she squeaks it out.
Okay.
Clayton, who do you have for Best Supporting Actress?
So this is an easy one. So we have Davine Joy Randall from The Holdovers. She has won the most screen curtains of any supporting actress in history. Has won literally every award imaginable. Over 60 Critics Awards. She's got it in the bag. I think, knock on wood, it's gonna kill.
Okay. And her speeches have been so emotional too.
I mean, and all feel different, and she's very happy about it. I'm excited for her.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clayton, next up, Best Actor. This seems to be a tight race, and I love it because you think it could be Cillian Murphy, but you're giving some love to Coleman Domingo.
So this was looking like a really wide open race early on between Cillian Murphy, Paul Giamatti, and yes, Coleman Domingo, who was extraordinary in Rustin. But as the weeks have gone on, Oppenheimer's become too big to fail. Cillian Murphy's going to squeak it out, I believe. But watch out for Paul Giamatti or possibly Jeffrey Wright from American Fiction. Very beloved. Every actor loves him.
All incredible performances. All right, let's talk about supporting actor because it seems like this one's kind of a lock at this point.
Another easy one. Who can't get behind an RDJ Iron Man beating the Incredible Hulk, right? And that listen, Robert Downey Jr. It's a career win, third-time nomination. It's the one that everyone's going to remember him for at this point, at least in Oscar land.
Right. Who are you going for the biggest prize of the night, Best Picture?
So, listen, I think we're going to pretend like this is a big race, but I don't think it is. Oppenheimer, probably the biggest lock that we've had since Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, 20 years ago. It's going to be the third highest grossing film of all time to win Best Picture. Titanic and Lord of the Rings.
Do you think it could be Lord of the Rings in terms of like total Oscars taken home tonight?
I'm tracking about 8 wins, which by the way is still a lot of Oscars. But listen, you never know how the night's going to go. It could.
Do you think Billie Eilish is going to eke out her second Oscar for Best Song?
Barbie versus Ken, right? I think Billie is going to win, become the youngest 2-time Oscar winner of all time at 22 years old. And she's got 8 more years left to win more before she's 30. So I'm just really impressed there. But watch out for Ken. A lot of Ken energy around.
Yeah, they said 1,000 Kens maybe on stage. Should be fun. Clayton Davis, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're going to see you throughout the course of the day. We'll both be here in a few hours when the Oscars coverage begins at 1 p.m. Eastern on ABC and ABC News Live. Be sure to catch the Oscars again earlier time, 7 p.m. And 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll be right back. And we are back now on GMA with our look at social media's take on some unforgettable Oscar moments. So Will Gans is here to take us through what you found out.
This is the best assignment of all time. Digging through the internet for the best Oscars memes of all time.
Sure.
Yeah, we've got Nicole Kidman clapping. You remember that one? Chrissy Teigen's reaction face. You remember that one? But reaching internet icon status isn't as easy as you might think.
From made-up celebrities, gifted, talented, one and only Adele Dazeem, to made-up dialogue.
Get out of here!
These days, the true award show gold standard is the most memorable and most memeable moment.
The Sally Field quote from her Oscar win many years ago.
You like me right now. You like me.
In today's parlance would be like meme gold, because it's succinct and, it can be used in or out of context and evoke meaning.
For pop culture superfans, award shows have become a two-screen viewing experience. The TV to watch and the smartphone for the real-time reaction. In fact, X, formerly known as Twitter, says conversation online surged upwards of 400% during last year's Oscars. So what makes a perfect award show meme?
Perfect pairing of great person, great quote, looking great.
And you know who I want to thank? I want to thank me.
When we look back on award shows gone by, what are your favorites? The Dior dress and Jennifer Lawrence falling on the steps.
You guys are just standing up because you feel bad that I fell, and that's really embarrassing, but thank you.
I just love that moment. I love her. I think it's like a classic award show moment. So, who will be behind tonight's most memeable moment? Almost impossible to predict, but Kate McKinnon, Issa Rae, and Catherine O'Hara all seem to be having a very good time at rehearsal yesterday.
Okay, all right. Hopefully everybody stays on their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want everybody falling down here. Will, thank you so much. We'll be right back after this. The bow tie, it's like a cross between James Bond and Bozo the Clown, you know? So it's
Look,
It's a
you said
hybrid.
it, we didn't.
More bozo than James Bond.
I mean, he said it, not us. We just agreed, but he took it okay.
Yeah, you know what? He took it like a pro, but I hear though that we've got an upgrade for you tonight.
Bow tie.
What you got there, Will?
why?
My sources are telling me that clown couture is very in this year.
No. Yes. Okay. All right.
Honestly,
You know what? It works.
You know.
Make it work.
It really works.
It's not a trend.
We need like bagpipes playing and like horns and flutes and stuff. It's a very patriotic bow tie.
practice our juggling act.
So
Yeah.
much
Thank you
fun
guys so
on
much.
the red carpet today. We are looking forward to seeing you. Will Gams, that tux brings out the color in your eyes. You look amazing. Thank you for watching ABC News. We're always on here at GoodMorningAmerica.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Scary Interesting and to another collection of horrible fates. In this video, we're going over 2 more creepy cases that went unsolved for decades. In fact, the second one is still unsolved and is considered one of the most confusing and controversial cases in history. As always, viewer discretion is advised. In the late 17th century, copper mining was big business in Sweden and produced more iron and copper than anywhere else in Europe. This is because the Swedish government was pumping vast resources into turning old, peasant-run operations into big enterprises run by the local nobility to fund Sweden's involvement in European wars and even a brief bit of colonial conquest. One reason Sweden was so rich in minerals is that 380 million years ago, a giant meteor slammed into the earth there. The crater is now known as the Siljan Ring, and the meteor left traces of lead, zinc, and copper that people have been extracting for over 6,000 years. One of the places for copper was an area called Falun, and there had been a mine there ever since the 8th century. The people of Falun tell the story of a time in the 800s when locals spotted a white goat with red fur. They thought that the only way a goat could look like that was if it had been eating something that changed its color, like copper, so they started to search for the source. At first, they fished lumps of copper ore out of the surrounding bog, but it didn't take long for them to transition to digging it from the hillsides. At first, they used hand tools to get it, locating an ore vein and folding it as far as possible, often with little more than a candle or hanging lamp to help them see it, with only enough room for one person to crawl through. That's one of the reasons early mining was done by individual peasants. By the time the 17th century came around, things had become a little more sophisticated. The money pumped in by the Swedish nobility meant that more extensive tunnels could be cut, often reinforced by timber. Rather than hand tools, miners used explosives and then dragged ore out using horses or water wheel-powered barrels and chains or conveyor belts. It was all still done by flame light, but not just candles and hand grenades. By then, passageways were lined with torches and fires were lit to illuminate the deeper tunnels. However, this also meant that fumes could fill the shafts and explosions could happen any time. They also regularly flooded as groundwater found its way into the newly cut caverns. So, to combat this, they built pumps to remove accumulated groundwater and dug ventilation shafts to circulate clean air around the mine using fans and bellows. It was still backbreaking and dangerous work, but the amount of ore people could mine and the money they could earn was far greater than before the nobility had gotten involved. At the edge of the Siljan Ring, about 30 miles from Falun, was the town of Boda. Surrounded by mines on all sides, the road from Falun and Boda was well maintained, and it had to be, given the amount of ore transported on it. Every day, an army of men would leave Boda and walk up the road toward the many mines. Some of these men were small, able to squeeze through the tightest tunnels and reach awkward parts of the seams. Other men were big and strong, able to move tons of ore every day. In 1676, Mats Israelson was one of those men. He'd started working in a smaller family mine, then as his reputation grew, he got work at the better paid Falun mine. During this time, he had a good reputation, steady work, and some close colleagues from there in his old job. Some of these friends nicknamed him Fat Mats, meaning Fat Mats, but they weren't insulting him because he was overweight. It was because Mats was just a large guy, especially for the time.